Hey boys and girls, welcome to Art Recycled with Mrs. Hollemeyer. Today we are going to learn how to make space landscapes. And our goal is to make our planets look three-dimensional. In other words, we don't want them to look like flat circles. We want them to look like round spheres. We also want some planets to look like they're closer to us and some planets to look like they're farther away from us. To understand how to do this, you have to understand how light and shadows work and how to create that on your planets. So we're going to start by going to your home screen. You want to click on the blue pen, that's your Sketches app, with your finger. That is then going to bring up the yellow folder that you want to tap with your finger, and then you want to tap on the white page with the plus sign. All right, boys and girls, now that we are in Sketches, I'm going to show you three tools that we're going to mainly use today. One is this tool down here at the bottom. This is a smudge tool. This tool is an airbrush tool. It's what we're going to use to make our space background. And then this tool is a flat-headed brush. It's a very solid looking tool. And then this tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my airbrush tool first. And the colors of space, boys and girls, it's actually not black. It's kind of a purpley blue kind of midnight color. And space can actually have a lot of colors in it. It can have yellows and oranges. And all I'm doing to use this tool is touching my finger to the surface of my iPad, and I'm drawing and holding it down. So now I'm going to add some blue to it. Kind of go over, so I'm overlapping and mixing my colors. And last one, I'm going to add some black here. And as you can see, these colors are a little see-through. They're not as solid, which is why it's great for that space background. And maybe a little bit of yellow. Okay, once you have your background set for your space, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna switch brushes and you're gonna switch to the flathead brush, okay? And I have to make different size planets here. So I want one large planet in front and I want it to be red. Make sure that you are on the largest brush then. So look all the way to the right, you'll see three dots. The largest brush is the biggest dot. And I'm just gonna touch my finger to the iPad surface and start moving my finger in a circle. And right now, I'm just gonna make a flat circle. Now I wanna make another planet and I want it to be green. So I'm gonna pick this middle green color. I'm not gonna pick the darkest green, and you're gonna see why. You wanna pick like a middle green or a middle red, a color that you know it has a lighter version of that color and a color where you know it also has a darker version of that color. Now I'm making this circle a little smaller than that red one because I want this planet to look like it's farther away. And if it's farther away, it's up higher on the screen and it's smaller than this first one. So now what I'm going to do is I don't want these to look like flat circles. I want them to look like three-dimensional spheres. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to red, and I need to find a darker red. So there is a dark red up at the top, but I'm actually going to go to that dark brown. And now I'm going to switch my brush again, and I'm going to go to this brush. So the brush that was right ahead or above of the flathead brush. I'm going to take that dark brown, and the first thing you have to think of is where is your light coming from? I'm going to just say it's coming from above the planets, so I'm going to take that dark brown. Uh-oh, see, I'm on the smallest brush. That's not good. I want to switch sizes. I'm going to switch actually to the medium-sized brush, and I'm going to trace only on the bottom half on the very edge of that red circle there. It's going to kind of look like a moon kind of on the bottom of that circle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the smudge tool, that tool that has the lines through it. I'm going to take my finger and watch this. As I touch the screen and I smear and rub my finger in circles along the edge of that brown in that red circle, it's smudging that brown, kind of like when we use chalks, boys and girls, in art. And now what it's going to look like is it's going to look like a shadow on the bottom of the planet. And it has that chalky type effect. Now it doesn't look like much yet. I'm gonna add now a lighter color. So basically kind of an orange, and I'm gonna add it up here at the top. Do the same thing, add it on the outside curve, go to the smudge tool, that tool back down there to the left, and now I'm gonna smudge the orange into the top. Smudge it on the sides. There we go. And now this is starting to look more like a three-dimensional sphere and not so much like a flat circle, boys and girls, okay? Smudge a little bit more. There we go. And I'm just rubbing my finger in circles. That's all I'm basically doing. Now I'm gonna take care of my green one, go to a darker green, do the crescent moon on the bottom half of my green planet. And by the way, boys and girls, you can pick whatever colors you want for your planet, whether you want a blue planet, purple planet. These are just the colors I've decided to pick. And now I'm gonna take that smudge tool and smudge the dark green into the lighter green. And now I'm gonna go back to my colors, and I'm gonna actually pick yellow for my green. Yellow is a great color to show light on a lot of different objects. Go to the smudge tool and smudge it in. Now it looks like there's light shining on my green planet. So now I wanna add some rings around my green planet. So I'm still in this tool above the flathead brush tool, that tool you see there. I'm gonna switch to the smallest dot, and I'm gonna go to the very dark green. I'm gonna touch on the very left or right hand edge of my green planet, go out, cross over it, and then go till I hit the left hand edge. And I'm gonna do that a couple of times to make my rings. You could switch colors. Maybe I want a brown ring in there. Just like that. Now on my red planet, I want it to look like Jupiter, so I'm gonna pick some orange, smudge a little bit in there, draw some lines, take my smudge tool, just kind of smudge and see what happens. Now again, if I do something that I don't like, let's say I didn't like doing that, click that arrow and it will undo what you just did. I'm clicking the arrow in the upper left-hand corner, and now my red planet is just back to being a red planet. So boys and girls, this is how you make three-dimensional planets. You can add other objects to your space picture if you want to. Let's say I make a planet that looks super far away. I'm gonna add this blue, and then I'm going to add a darker blue for the shadow, or maybe a bluish purple. Use my smudge tool. All right, and then for the highlight on this one, maybe I'll pick white actually. Just the very top. Smudge tool. Oh, I like it. All right. So now you can add things like stars, comets, whatever it is you want once you've done your three-dimensional planets. So for stars, remember, I'm thinking of how, not outer space, but space is in things of like, it's close to me or farther from me. So maybe I'll just click the yellow, and I'm just going to go to the medium-sized dot there, and I'm gonna do some stars that are far away. Now, if these start getting closer to me though, right, they would look a little bigger, especially if they're down here by the red planet. Maybe I'll switch some colors up. Yeah, maybe I'll do pink. Add another star down here. And as you can see from my example at the end of my last picture, I added in a spaceship, I added in a comet, some other things just to add interest to your space picture so that it's not just the planets, because there are a lot of things in space besides just the planets, right? Maybe I'll add some rays to make it look like it's moving, my comet there. There we go. And there's my space picture. Now when your picture is finished, in order to save it to your photos, you want to click on the three dots on the top. This screen is going to come up, and you want to click on the square with the arrow pointing outward, not inward, but outward. This screen should pop up, and you want to click on the one that says Save Image. This top one with the top black box, Save Image. Now it should be in your photos.